Good evening. It is 7:05 p.m. Um, we're going to get started with our Finance Committee meeting. I'm not sure if you can hear me. If you can you give me a thumbs up or say something in the chat um, just to make sure that everything is being heard? Leslie, can you hear me? I can hear you clearly. Okay, wonderful. All right, so this is going to be a rather informal meeting. As you may be able to see, there's only two people on this meeting right now. This is the Finance Committee monthly meeting. Um, just to give you some background about uh, the committees and particularly the Finance Committee. Uh, Committees were set up in order to assist the board of directors in performing certain tasks. Uh, uh, the committees really serve as the research arm of the board of directors. So, uh, any research or insight that we provide is considered by the board, but they're under no obligation to follow the things that we suggest. Um, this is a very, very small committee. It's typically just myself working in conjunction with uh, the Brentwood HOA treasurer, which is Thomas McKeithen, and we had another person volunteer for the committee, but they have yet to attend any meetings. Uh, so like I said, as you can see, it's a very, very small committee. But just to go over the agenda for tonight, uh, well, before I do that, I'm just going to reiterate the purpose of the finance committee in particular. This is something that I went over during the last community meeting that we had, but there's three main purposes. Number one, to provide familiarization of association financial matters to the homeowners. Number two, to assist in the development of the annual budget. And number three, to provide research and analysis services to the board of directors and to the other committees as requested. Now, that first one that I mentioned, providing familiarization to homeowners, that's something that relatively new. It's an endeavor that I've chosen to take on because there appears to be a lot of questions involving the budget and the finances of the HOA. Uh, and usually during board meetings or community meetings and even the annual meeting, there's not a whole lot of time to dig deep into very specific finance related issues. So I think that this could serve as a very useful forum for all of the people that have some angst and consternation about HOA fees and services, etc. This would be definitely the place to come and get at least some semblance of some answers as to why things are the way that they are. Unfortunately, people don't tend to capitalize on this. As you can see, there's no one at this meeting, and I believe you were at Leslie, you were at the community meeting, and a lot of people had some issues that they wanted to bring up, and I invited everyone to come to this meeting to try to uh, provide the ability to get some more detailed explanations about budget matters. But as you can see, people are not capitalizing on that. So we'll press on. Tonight's discussion, um, and you probably saw it in the calendar invite for the agenda. Uh, we want to do a recap of the 2023 finalized budget. We want to familiarize ourselves with the revenue and expense uh, uh, report review process. we want to look at the 2024 budget development and address any board of directors or committee initiatives uh, that they may possibly need us to research. So when we're looking at the uh, 2023 budget review. Uh, but before I continue, I do want to say that I'm navigating away from the um, the screen where I can see any comments or chats because I'm reading from some notes. So if you do have something to say, um, I think if you could maybe unmute yourself or uh, say something, or I'll periodically go back to that screen just to make sure that I'm not missing anything. If you have any questions that you want to ask. All right. Okay. So moving on, we're looking at the 2023 budget finalization and a recap of that process. So I want to first talk about the budget preparation process. Okay, so uh, the budget is prepared uh, in this forum by this committee, like I said, in conjunction the uh, with the Brentwood treasurer. This is done through several uh, finance committee meetings, which are typically scheduled uh, quarterly when we're going to specifically talk about the budget for the following year. There will be additional meetings scheduled as required. So, for example, as we get closer to that next calendar year, we'll probably have a lot more meetings, or as we get closer to the publication of the 2024 budget. In this case, then we'll have more meetings that focus on that budget. Uh, there are meeting minutes that are in the process of being loaded to the new management company's portal. Uh, but in the interim, there are meeting recordings. So for 2023, we had 3 meetings where we specifically worked on the 2023 budget. Those meetings took place on the 22nd of August. Excuse me, the 22nd of August in 2022, the 19th of September in 2022, and the 24th of October in 2022. I can uh, put in the chat uh, those meetings, uh, the links to the meetings where you can listen and watch what was said during that budget development process. So I'm putting that in the chat right now, and you should see those 3 links uh, where the budget development for 2023 took place. Uh, Now, once the budget is finalized, oh, you're very welcome. Once the budget is finalized, then it's submitted to the board of directors, and the board of directors has to uh, uh, vote on that budget and again actually finalize that budget. Now that was done the um, uh, during the budget meeting or the budget finalization meeting. I'm going to put another link chat uh, for that meeting. And again, this meeting was uh, it was actually a board of director meeting, not a finance committee meeting. And during that meeting, they voted on the budget. So I'm just pasting some notes in here in the chat uh, where you can see the link where the actual board of directors voted on finalizing the budget for 2023. And this was based on the recommendations from the finance committee. Um, so once the budget is finalized, uh, a notification has to be sent out to the homeowners. That took place via email on the 12th of December. Also, it was distributed electronically via the management company's homepage on the 12th of December. And then Those that didn't have email addresses on file, it was mailed out um, to their home address. I want to bring up, let me see if I can bring up a copy of what was actually sent out, and you probably have seen this. Let's see if I can bring this up on the screen, and I believe this is it right here. So what you saw, let me scroll up to the top. Uh, and sometimes it takes a while for it to load onto the screen. I'll give it some more time because I don't think that it's visible yet. There it is. Okay. So you should be seeing on your screen right now where Century Management, which is our previous uh, management company, sent out this notification for the budget meeting. Uh, now this notification was sent out because we are required to send this out prior to 30 days prior to the budget actually being voted on. So it was actually sent out 30 days prior to the 30th of November so that everyone would be able to review this document. So again, this is the letter that was sent out by Century. I'm just kind of scrolling down. Uh, you may start to see your screen move a little bit. Uh, that's the letter itself. I'll scroll to budget, and I think it's taken a little bit of time to populate. Make it a little bit smaller. Yeah, I think it's moving a little bit slow, but this is the actual budget that was sent out. I've highlighted a few areas of interest, but we'll go over that part a little bit later in this meeting. But this is the budget that was sent out, uh, and towards the bottom of the budget that was sent out, you'll see I'm kind of circling it with my cursor here. Uh, the new HOA amount of $788 uh, uh, for our annual amount, and then the quarterly amount of $197. Uh, and I think what we'll do is go over how we came up with these numbers. There's another document which is more of a working document. This document here is a PDF, but typically this committee works with an Excel spreadsheet um, uh, um, in order to uh, develop the budget. I think I saw something in the chat. Uh, I'm not sure. Let people in the meeting know they're being recorded. No, 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 no. Uh, I think there's somebody trying to be admitted. Let me go ahead and admit. This might be you calling. Okay. Is that you, Leslie?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Good. Unfortunately, I don't have a camera nor a microphone on my computer. So I was using my phone to dial in.
Okay, that's wonderful. Okay, but you can see the screen. I'm
Oh, I can
hoping.
see everything perfectly
Okay,
in the
great.
chat and
All right.
everything.
All right.
It's just that I wouldn't be able
Well,
to talk to you if I had some questions. So I had to dial in.
okay, wonderful. All right. So, what I'll do now is I'll bring up on the screen the Excel spreadsheet that we normally work from, and just so that you can see uh, a more detailed line by line explanation of how we came up with these numbers. So I'm gonna go. I'll stop sharing this particular document, and then I'll start sharing my Excel spreadsheet. I believe this one's it here. It'll probably take a couple seconds for it to come up. And while it's doing that, I'll go back to my notes page. It for some reason it takes a while for when you share a document, it takes a while for other people to be able to see it. So you're probably seeing a blank screen right now,
Yeah.
but it'll come up. Well, while we're waiting, again, thank you for joining, and I welcome your input, your collaboration, your assistance. A lot of the uh, a lot of the research that's done that leads to the decisions that directly affect our HOA fees happen right here in this committee, which is why I'm really flabbergasted that a lot of people are not more eager to get involved in this committee because this is the genesis of where things happen, like real things with real money, and we're playing with live ammo here. So uh, I would think anybody that would want to have more of a say as to how things are going to pan out would attend this committee meeting, but uh, c'est la vie.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So yeah, so so this is the document. Like I said, this is our working document that we normally use to uh, develop the budget, and a few key areas to look at uh, when we're working on this spreadsheet is this top line here, the number of units. This is going to affect exactly uh, uh, how our HOA fees are going to be assessed and how much they're going to be. So it's very important that we have an accurate number from the board of directors to that we're working with. Um, the next one that everyone really would be interested in is this one here, the assessments. So when you look here, the 2023 proposed uh, assessments. This is again, this is the income category. So this is how much we are assuming that we're going to get in, and this number is derived by taking the number of homes and what we are proposing that our HOA fees would be. So we just have a formula here with the F1. I don't know if you can see that, it's very small, but the which is the 540 and the number 788, which I don't know if I can scroll down to that, if you'll see it in a timely manner. Let me see if I can get down to it. Uh, it'll take some time, but I just want you to be able to see that that number is derived by multiplying the 540 homes by
That is the assessment fee.
788. hmm
Yeah.
I'm
And
not
one
sure if you
quick
can see
question
that on
for
your
you.
screen yet.
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
One quick question. In column B at the top, it says COA um pound sign. I think that's pound. It's pound sign or whatever that is.
Yes.
So the
So
acronym
so
stand.
uh so so I believe that stands for category of accounting. Now, with our old management company, they assigned every line item in our budget a category of accounting number. That's how the management company essentially manages all of our funds. Uh,
Okay.
Whenever any money comes into the HOA, they have to put it towards a particular category of accounting. Whenever any money goes out, it has to be assigned a category of accounting for for accounting purposes.
Gotcha.
So this may change, these numbers and everything, or may change with the new management company. Uh, we don't really know. We haven't received any real products from them yet. As you know, they don't even have the portal totally set up yet. They don't have the click pay totally set up yet. So people can't even really pay their bill yet. I've actually paid my HOA assessments for the entire year of 2023, but it's not reflect on their portal yet. So this is just, for this first month or two, this is just going to be a gradual process. So there's not going to be a lot for the finance committee to be able to do until that's established.
Understood.
Um, Another line item of interest, and this is a biggie here, it's the allowance for doubtful accounts. This allowance for doubtful accounts, this is how what we're speculating to be uh, uh, the number of units or number of homes that will not pay their assessments for 2023. In this case, we're speculating 22 homes or 22 units will not pay their assessment fee in 2023. And unfortunately, that number is not necessarily a liberal number. It's actually kind of conservative
Oh,
because
really?
yeah, yeah, I remember there was a time when there were at least 30 homeowners that had not paid assessment fees. So I think that really, if we weren't trying to keep the budgetary number low, I think uh, uh, that number would really be 30. But we did 22 in the hopes that maybe some of the aggressive steps that the board has taken to get people to pay HOA fees will be successful, and I think they will be. I'm just just historically though, the more comfortable number really would be 22 homeowners not paying assessment fees.
Yeah, I
I
think the
will
idea of
speak
them
on.
doing the
Okay,
quarterly is helpful for folks. That's
well,
gives them a little more time to work with
so, so,
things. I mean, considering
so,
how things are with the COVID. So,
so to give you a little bit of context, of course, we used to do it just annually. That was your only option. And from going from annual to quarterly, the number of delinquencies are about the same. It
okay.
really didn't change much. Yeah, that was a little bit disheartening for me to find out
But
though.
I think I
It's like,
saw
okay,
when I was looking at something, I can't remember what, but I think they started it last year, 2022, with the quarterlies, right?
that's correct.
Yeah. So considering that
So
we were in COVID and things like that, I can see why we
yeah,
were
so
still
yeah,
at the same type of number of folks not paying their full assessment like we were previously. So I'm just thinking that this time may be a little bit
hopefully
easier
you're
for
right.
folks. Yeah, I'm hoping. Because be honest with you, I've always paid
Yeah,
mine straight off up front, but this time I did take
right.
advantage of the quarterly option. And what I did, I paid 3 months in advance. And then
Oh,
I figure
okay.
on the next quarter I'll pay it off.
Got it, got it.
Yeah, so I took advantage of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I mean it helps for people that want to take advantage of it. So, but if you're wondering why that number is seems a little high, the board is definitely just wanted to posture for those that possibly will not pay.
I
Uh,
understand.
so uh, let's see. I'll go to another area. Okay, so if you look here, the I just highlighted the row that has our total income, and this is our estimated income. And keep in mind, this is just a budget, so we're speculating that these things will happen based off the the things that we do know. There's certain things we just can't know. Some of the things that we do know, though, when you get into this expenses category. So when you look here at the expenses, uh, uh, you have the ground maintenance expenses, and all of these are uh, uh, 6,000 series COAs. So that includes things like general maintenance, uh, contracted lawn service, grounds maintenance, and if you look here, uh, there's I'll try to highlight it here. There's a vendor column. So for every service that we have contracted, we have a vendor assigned if there is a signed contract associated with that service. So for example, this general maintenance tab has Century Management as the vendor because it was our management company. Um, and I can probably maybe send a copy of this to you so you can at least take a look at it. And the reason I say that is because if you go all the way down, and I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. Uh, okay, I think you should be able to see it now. This here is an explanation of each category of item. So you have the COA number, what it is, and then an explanation of what that item is. So when you look at general maintenance, you see here, I'll try to make that a little bit bigger, but you probably can't read that. Uh, it says for property repairs, replacement of signs, lettering, trash emptying of the lot, playground, and other common areas. That's this particular uh, category of accounting called general maintenance,
Sure.
which is done by a service that, uh, at least with the last management company, it was done by Century Management. So with all of these, you'll be able to look at each line item, see what it's called, see who the vendor is, and see how much we're projecting. One thing that I did not mention was this column here. I'll try to pin this to the top so it stays here. View. I'll freeze the top planes. Okay. You have look at these columns here. You'll have the 2022 amount that we budgeted, uh, and I'll wait for the screen to catch up with what I have highlighted. So you see this column here. It says 2022 budget. That's how much we budgeted for 2022. Then the next column you see here, it's the 2022 actual. That's how much we actually spent in 2022. And then finally, the column G is what we're proposing to spend. Now, the reason why we're proposing the numbers that we propose is based on uh, uh, signed contracts that we had. So if you look in uh, this here 2022, you see the actual list. Let's take for example contracted lawn services. We budgeted uh, $81,000. The actual amount spent was 65,000. But then in 2023, we're budgeting 84,000. And you may say, well, how come if we only spent 65,000, why are we budgeting for 84,000? Well, first of all, that actual number was based off the date that we actually spent on the day of this report. And this particular report
Okay.
was pulled in October. So we hadn't we still had a whole nother quarter to get through.